Hey everyone, Sylvie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Wednesday. I'm feeling pretty good today, and it felt like a good time to do my video about the law of attraction. I have wanted to talk to you guys about this for a while. I just haven't been able to squeeze it in. But being that it is 1:11 today, I think it is a good time to get into this topic. I know this might seem like a strange topic for me to be adding into my content, but like I've said in other videos, there are actually a lot of aspects to the things that I want to discuss on this channel. And part of the reason that I called my channel Into the Ether is because it's not a channel that's just about my psychic readings or my medium work or just those specific things. I called it Into the Ether because really what I want to do is discuss anything and everything that has to do with existential phenomena and really just the way the universe works, right? And our interaction with those things, with those aspects, with those elements. I've mentioned before that it might seem like a very eclectic conglomeration of topics, but I promise you all of the things that I talk about on this channel are intertwined. So when I'm talking about other videos, like I did my video on the dream state, and I wanted to start with that because I feel like that's kind of the lesser end of the scale as far as our interactions with the universe. But the dream state can also get very complex too if you really want to dig into that. So that'll be on down the road for my channel since it's still growing. But my psychic visions and my medium abilities, those things come from all of these other interactions with existence. So, it might take a big roundabout way of coming back to the beginning so that we can see the full circle. But I want to discuss all these things, and eventually, everybody will see how everything just definitely all ties together. Okay, so synchronicities and the law of attraction. I'm not going to go really far into what it is and things of that nature because there are literally hundreds of videos and channels out there that are dedicated to the law of attraction. Since I have so many things that I want to talk about on my channel, I didn't want to solely dedicate it to the law of attraction, but I do have a lot to say on that topic, so there will be occasional videos about it. But because of the fact that it is a somewhat heavily discussed topic, at least in my opinion, I know that there's not a million channels out there, but there's quite a few. There's really a lot. I don't want to bore anyone with the basics. If you are familiar with the law of attraction, that's great. If you are not familiar with the law of attraction, basically it comes down to this. Everyone and everything in existence has a universal energy that we basically all share. This is basically just saying that everything in the universe is made up of essentially the same type of universal energy. And I mean literally everything. I mean people, animals, plants, things, objects, inanimate objects, everything, literally everything in existence shares this energy. And if you know about the basics of physics and things of that nature, then you would know that that's true because basically things are made up of atoms. You can get into very small particles, you can get into the quantum realm, things of that nature. And it's relatively easy to see, at least in my opinion, that everything does have an energy. Particles are always moving about fiercely in everything, even things that appear to be solid, inanimate objects. So knowing that, the concept of the law of attraction is basically that your energy vibrates at a certain frequency. And everything else in existence also vibrates at a certain frequency. So if you are able to match up your frequency with other things that are vibrating at the same frequency, then you will attract those things. It's a concept of like attracts like. So this is not like magnetism where opposites attract and like repels. This is like attracts like. So think of it as kind of a reversed magnet where the same poles would attract each other. Okay, so I don't want to go into the basics of it too much because I don't want to bore anyone who's familiar with the law of attraction. If you guys want me to do a law of attraction 101 type of video, then I'll absolutely do that for you. Please let me know in the comments. But I think this limited information will suffice for this video because you really just need to understand the basic concept. The law of attraction is not the same as the power of positivity. Now, I know that it seems like it would be, because basically I'm saying like attracts like. So if you're positive, you'll attract positive things. If you're negative, you'll attract negative things. But I really feel like the whole power of positivity thing is more of just like, I don't know, it's not really an external mechanism that you would be able to use to navigate life. It's more of an internal mechanism, meaning that, you need to think positively and things like that. Whereas the law of attraction is definitely an internal mechanism, but I feel like it's also a very external mechanism as well. And what I mean by that is when you start to change these perceptions inside, in your mind, in your body, you start to see these actual physical results in your outside world. And I'm not saying that that doesn't happen with the power of positivity, but the law of attraction goes deeper than that. See, the law of attraction is based 100% on your perception of reality. Your perception. The law of attraction is pretty much all about you and the way that you perceive your existence. Okay, so let's talk about perception for a moment. What does that actually mean? Well, everybody knows the definition of perception. It basically means the way that you see the world. But you can take it a little bit deeper than that, because the way that you see the world is actually a very broad topic, isn't it? You don't look at all things the same, and even though you feel one way about one topic, you may feel completely different about another topic, and the way that you see something is potentially going to be extremely different from the way that someone else sees something. This is why we have agreements and disagreements all over the world, right? Because if everybody saw the world in the same way, then we'd never have any conflicts. So this just isn't about the way that you see the world in general. This is about the way that you see existence. Do you see yourself as something that is small and insignificant in a vast universe of life and wonder and amazingness? Or are you somebody who sees yourself as kind of the center of the universe? Maybe not literally, but maybe you think that you're very significant. Maybe you think that you're someone who is very important, and there are certain things that just couldn't function without you. If that's the way you view yourself, that's fine, but I dare to say that you probably don't have a very strong connection to the universe if that be the case. But here's the thing, the law of attraction is always working, regardless of whether you believe in it or not. So this is not something that you need to do deliberately. This is something that, in my opinion, this is just one of the universal laws, which is just one of the constants that governs our universe. Okay, so it doesn't really matter what you think of yourself or your place in the universe. The universe is still going to always give you those things that you are attracting, or rather match you with the things that you match to. So basically, let me explain it like this. If you're the type of person who thinks that your life is always crap, and that it's always terrible and awful, and it's always a struggle, maybe you feel like you're always sick, maybe you feel like the world is out to get you, maybe you feel like nothing is ever going your way. Basically, you're sending out this energy into the universe, and you're telling the universe, my life is crap. And the universe doesn't judge. The universe does not care what frequency or what energy you're putting out. It just matches you. So if you're constantly putting out into the universe, my life is crap and I hate my life and it's a struggle and it's always terrible, the universe is just going to say, okay. And it's going to give you more of that. It's going to say, you're convinced that your life is bad, and so I'm going to continue to give you more of those things. So you're essentially telling the universe that you want your life to be bad because you're dwelling on it and you're letting it consume you, and you're putting this it's not even really a negative energy, because it's, as far as the universal energy goes, that doesn't really matter. It only matters to us. We put a negative connotation on it. We could say that it's a negative energy. I prefer to say that it's a low energy, low vibration, low frequency, whatever you prefer to call it. Okay, but basically, if you view this as kind of like a climbing scale, then this energy that you're putting out, my life is so terrible, that would be very low down on the scale, right? Whereas if you're able to look at the things that make you feel good in life, make you feel happy, make you have a higher energy, make you feel better about existence, then that's going to raise you up the scale, and you're going to be at what I would call a higher frequency. So essentially, if you can look at your life and you can say, things are pretty good for me, I usually feel pretty good, things go my way more often than not, I have a great family, I have a great job, whatever the case may be for you, then the universe is going to say, okay, and it's going to give you more of those things. It's going to align you with the things that are matching your energetic output. So let me give you some day-to-day examples. Say you wake up in the morning and as soon as you get out of the bed, you stub your toe, okay? I don't know, you kick the bed, you kick the door frame as you're walking out the door, whatever, you stub your toe. Ow, that sucks. So then you go downstairs, you get ready, you eat your breakfast, you go in to brush your teeth, and as you're brushing your teeth, you lose hold of your toothbrush and you drop your toothbrush with the toothpaste on it into your hair, the hair that you just got done doing, right? So now you have to clean yourself all up. You got to clean the toothpaste out, you got to try to redo your hair. It's not going to look as good, but you do what you can, because now you're a little bit late and you're running out the door. So you get in the car, you're on your way to work, you're running a little bit late, but you might still have time to make it, but then you get just down the street and there's a traffic jam, or you get just down the street and there's an accident, and it's going to tie you up for a long time and you're definitely going to be late for work. Now you're mad and you finally get to work late, your boss is aggravated maybe, and from then on out, the entire rest of the day just keeps going downhill. It just keeps getting worse. All these little things, and by the time you get home at the end of the day, maybe you just want to cry. Maybe you just want to get in your bed and pretend like the world doesn't exist. But this is a great example of the law of attraction, because you started out with one little thing that happened and it aggravated you. And then, another thing happened and that aggravated you, and another thing happened and that aggravated you. And it just snowballed into this terrible day. But if you are the type of person who's able to brush it off, same scenario, you get up, you stub your toe. That was unpleasant, but it wasn't a big deal. You drop the toothbrush in your hair. That sucks, but it's not that big of a deal. If you are able to kind of blow it off and keep your positive attitude and keep your perception being that the world's not so bad, all these little things happen, but the world's not so bad, then you're going to be able to cut that off. You're going to be able to stop that terrible day in its tracks, and maybe you're not going to have an amazing day after that, but your day will still be okay. It might progress as just a normal day, and nothing too much to ruffle your feathers about. So this is something that people just cannot deny, in my opinion, even regardless of whether you believe in the law of attraction or anything else like that. You cannot deny that this happens, right? That literally everybody has had this happen, where just one terrible thing after another and after another. But I'm giving this example because I'm trying to show you how like attracts like. So if you're getting aggravated about these things when they happen to you, then you're placing a lot of importance on that particular thing, and you're telling the universe that that's what you want in your life. It has to be what you want because you've made it super important, and you're telling everybody in the world how bad your life sucks, right? So anyway, to get to more of a point for this video, because it's getting a little bit longer than I had planned on it being, the law of attraction is always operating, but once you learn about it, once you know about it, once you understand the concept of how this works, This is something that you can start to learn to do deliberately, meaning that you can purposely attract things into your life, or you can purposely stop attracting things into your life. Now, I'm not going to bore you guys and go into a whole bunch of examples of things that have happened to me. Once again, if you'd like me to make that video, please let me know and I will do that for you. But just to suffice it to say that I just learned about the concept of the law of attraction about 1.5 years ago, and some crazy things have already come into my life. Some crazy things that I never thought in a million years. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to be very honest with you guys and tell you that throughout my life, honestly, I have been a somewhat negative person. You know, I've mentioned in other videos that I've struggled with depression, and I've struggled with health problems. Nothing terribly major, but just like constant health problems kind of a thing. And I've just had a lot of issues with terrible, awful things coming into my life. And now that I understand this concept, you know, it all makes sense to me that it's actually, I'm not getting down on myself or anything by saying this, but essentially it's all my fault. It's all my own fault, because this is what I've been attracting throughout my life. This is what I've been telling the universe that I want. And I know a lot of people might be thinking, but I say all the time, I don't want this, you know, I want the opposite, I wish this, I wish that. But when you're saying that, when you're saying, I wish my life wasn't so bad, or I wish I had more money, or I wish I had a better job, or I wish this, or I wish that, you're not saying that as you actually feel that, or you actually believe that. You're saying that from a very sad, a very depressed, a very downtrodden energy, complaining and focusing on how bad your life currently is. So you can wish till the end of time that things are going to get better, but you have to actually change your perception of your reality before anything is going to happen for you. But I promise you that it is real and that you can do that. You can change your life by changing the way that you perceive your existence. Now, please know, you guys, that I am not an expert. I am not a professional law of attraction coach or anything like that. I am basically just doing this video to let you guys know that, in my opinion, the law of attraction exists, and it is something that is definitely going to come into other conversations and other videos that I'm going to make. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. So once again, really quickly, how do I know the law of attraction is real? Well, like I said, I found out about the concept about a 1.5 years ago, and it took me a couple of months to actually grasp onto it and, you know, kind of get on board with what people were saying. But once I did, and I started to try to purposely manipulate the things that I was seeing in my life, I actually started seeing a lot of different things. Like I said, I am not an expert, and I am not very far along in my own journey of learning how to use the law of attraction, but I have actually had just a whole bunch of things come into my life that there's just no way that it was a coincidence. And I've mentioned before that I don't believe in coincidences. I don't think that there's any accidental things that happen. I think that everything happens for a reason. Everything happens in conjunction to something else. Just a couple of quick personal examples. I had a couple of pretty major court cases in my life where I was able to attract pretty much exactly the outcome that I wanted to attract. And I talk about that in a little bit more detail in the second part of my dream state video. So if you're interested in that, I've been able to change relationships in my life. I've been able to improve those with a deliberate law of attraction. I've attracted some money into my life a few times unexpectedly. And now that I know about the law of attraction, honestly, this is just something that I see literally every day playing out in front of me, okay? Sometimes it's in the smallest ways, like, you know, most of these instances are going to be somewhat insignificant, but it doesn't matter though. Anything that can help you change the perception of yourself and your life and your reality is something that's going to attract changes in your life. I do also want to touch for just a moment on synchronicities. Now, I'm sure that the majority of people watching this probably know what synchronicities are. Basically, that just means kind of like signs from the universe, kind of like feelings or occurrences that just, they're, once again, it's just, there's just no way it could be a coincidence. Or it's very strange that it would be a coincidence, is basically what it comes down to. So I don't get heavily into numerology or anything like that, but I do like to use the example of numbers. Like, are you somebody who always sees 11:11 on the clock? Or for me, it's 1:11. So like I always see 1:11 on the clock, always. Almost every afternoon and every morning. I'm a bit of a night owl, so I'm usually still up. I almost always see that every single day. I actually, a lot of repeating numbers actually come into my reality all the time. So like license plates, signs, store displays, like I just see repeating numbers everywhere. So it might be 111, might be 555, 222. Those are the ones that come up for me quite a lot. If you want to go and look up the meanings of repeating numbers, you can do that. There's lots of sites that talk about like angel numbers and stuff like that. I don't really get too much into the actual meaning of the numbers themselves. I just look at the fact that I'm seeing those things. And I try to pay attention to what it is that I'm feeling and what it is that I'm thinking about when I actually see those things. So anyway, if you're open to the concept of the law of attraction, but you've never actually tried to do anything with it or anything like that, I would ask you to try to do a simple little test. And basically, the simplest test that you can do is just pick something silly and trivial that you don't really care about and try to see that thing. So like, maybe it's a blue butterfly, or maybe it's a peace sign. Now, obviously, you don't want to pick something that you see all the time. If you have a blue butterfly on your phone, then don't pick that, because obviously you're going to see that. So basically just pick something arbitrary that you wouldn't see all the time. That it's very unlikely that you're actually going to run into that thing. A white feather would be a good example. And just say to yourself, I'd like to see a white feather. That's just an example. And just kind of put it in your mind, absorb it for a minute, and then forget about it. Don't think about it again. Don't go out into the world and start trying to look for a white feather, because if you do that, it's not going to happen. But if you just kind of make that little declaration and then put it out of your mind, you will be surprised how quickly that thing will show up in your reality. I'm not kidding, you guys. And that is what I would call a synchronicity, and that is what I would call a very basic test to show you how the law of attraction works. So anyway, you guys, please go ahead and just give it a try. If you've never tried using the law of attraction, or if you're new to the law of attraction, please just give that little test a try. Now, if you think that it's complete rubbish and that it's absolutely ridiculous, honestly, it's probably not going to work for you. You have to be at least a little bit open-minded to the concept itself. Okay, I do want to give a little bit of a shout out to a couple of channels. In case you are new to the law of attraction and you want some good, dedicated channels to watch out there to give you a better sense of what the law of attraction is about and things of that nature. Okay, I would definitely watch Andrea Schulman. Her last name, I think, is spelled Schulman. And I would definitely watch Andrea Schulman's channel. She's got some really great content out there. I would also watch Amy Westmoreland. She actually has not had a lot of stuff on her channel recently. Like, she doesn't, I think it's been like over a year since she's posted a video. But the videos that she has on there are really good. Amy Westmoreland actually helped me out a lot when I was starting to try to use the law of attraction, because she has a very different way of explaining things that might be preventing you from being able to attract the things that you want into your reality. I don't remember the name of her actual channel, but if you if you search on YouTube Amy Westmoreland Law of Attraction or something like that, you will find her channel. And the other person that I would refer you to is Joshua Tongol. I think his last name is Tongol. I think you should be able to find his channel pretty easy also. So all three of these people have great content. They will definitely give you a lot of more information about the law of attraction and a lot of coaching, a lot of great coaching as to how you can use the law of attraction to change your perception of reality. So anyway, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. If you guys want to know some more specific things about the law of attraction or synchronicities, or if you guys actually do want some kind of coaching videos, I'm willing to do that. Like I said, though, I'm not an expert. I am definitely not what people would call a master manifester. Definitely not. I'm not there. I'm not anywhere near there. But I'm happy to share my personal experiences with you guys and let you know some of the things that I have learned and some of the struggles that I've had if you'd like to hear about that. So anyway, let me know in the comments. As always, thank you so very much for listening. I will definitely be talking to everybody again very soon. Bye.